Welcome into Rover Sports, the show, and this is our film breakdown segment of the show for YouTube. This week, a very interesting game out in Big D between Dallas and the Cincinnati Bengals, and we continue to evaluate Dak Prescott now in his fifth NFL game as a starter. And we're going to see how this team plays and kind of just try to assess where the Cowboys are at in this, throughout the season. So here you see Elliott with a nice cutback run there for about 3, setting up 2nd and 7. And then Dak's going to hand to Lucky Whitehead, and you're going to see a very, very nice block out there on the outside by Swain, getting a first down, and the Cowboys are moving. Here you see Dak Prescott, a little play action, and for him, I know that this play is not of note, but it's just unbelievable, like how slow Dak Prescott is playing. Like it looks like the game is really slowing down for him, especially in that instant. He's just playing with so much confidence and poise. And it really looks like Dak Prescott, and that's a nice move out there by Terrence Williams. But Prescott is just simply managing the team, and the Cowboys just look unbelievably comfortable. And here you see, let's slow this up because this is a great example of Dallas and their blocking. You here are going to see, I believe it's Zach Martin coming around. It's a stretch play. Witten blocks it so well. 65 is actually a backup, I believe. And the team just totally seals the edge. And Ezekiel Elliott can just pretty much run at will, even though the wide receivers block nicely. So when you have that type of production, that's going to yield incredible comfort for a quarterback and for a running back to run behind. Just pure domination so far with this drive. Here Prescott hands, and this is also Elliott. Watch this cut by Ezekiel Elliott. Watch this surge. I don't think a lot of people in Dallas this week are going, man, I wish we would have selected Jalen Ramsey with the 4th overall pick when you see a guy cutting like this. Ezekiel Elliott, at this stage, is probably a top 5 player in the NFL this season. It's pretty incredible. He's the best running back in the league. And he shows that because of the way he's able to cut back against the grain, see holes, be so patient. And the offensive line doing a terrific job. And there you see Elliott. That's not an easy hole to get through. But again, Ezekiel Elliott knows how to get into space. And for Dak Prescott, he only needed to make like maybe one throw on that entire possession. And pretty much there, you see the guards doing an amazing job. You see Martin, again, Zach Martin, 70, totally sealing linebackers up. And utter domination by Dallas. And, pretty much, I know that Dak had some nice plays, maybe 2 plays, but I think a lot of quarterbacks would be that successful with a running game that is that successful. Here we go, 1st and 15 now, second drive of the game, and here you're honestly going to see some excellent quarterback play from Dak, understanding the position he's in, quickly going for reads, and one of my favorite plays of the game is that one. 1st and 15 at the 1-yard line, confidence to throw from the end zone, get it out, know that you have Elliott on the swing pass. Just a terrific, terrific play there by Dak Prescott. And you see him dissecting coverages, and that's what I want to see more. Here you're going to see Dak, and this play is also just a fantastic football play because Dak is able to put air under the ball. Now, Dak, his eyes don't move as quick as I'd like. The offensive line does an incredible job allowing Dak the time. He's looking left, looking left, looking left. He doesn't rotate right. But luckily, Terrence Williams is there, throwing it kind of off of his back foot. But the arc on this football is impeccable. and he froze it over all the linebackers, and Terrence Williams emerging. Dak doesn't rush, doesn't panic. So, although he's looking on one side of the field most of the time and his footwork can be better, he doesn't panic. And that's one of the prettiest plays all day long from Prescott. Here, Prescott hands to Elliott. You see Elliott taking perfect for a ride. Elliott's just one of the more competitive players already in the NFL. You saw him firing up the defense last week in San Fran. And this is awesome quarterback play here from Dak. Again, the offensive line yields him a lot of time, but watch the pace that this guy's playing with. I mean, it looks like Dak Prescott is playing like upstairs in his house, like wearing pajama pants, and it looks like he's honestly just like playing football against air. I mean, the guy just has so much time, but he's just so comfortable out there. Um, it really is like Dak's just throwing the football in the backyard. There's just no panic in his game, complete and total command. And here he just doesn't force anything, and that's the most impressive thing about Dak Prescott is that he's not forcing things. And I know that when you start to progress like Aaron Rodgers does, you will start to Dak Prescott maybe in like 3 or 4 years will try to force a ball into double coverage. He'll probably just feel that he should be progressing. But, I mean, if the Cowboys get this Dak Prescott all the time, even for the next 4 years, this is how quarterbacks should play the game. Not forcing anything and letting the running game do its job. And Dak's just doing a tremendous job. Now, can Tony make the throws Dak can? Probably. Is Dak faster than Tony? Yes. But Dak Prescott right now, this offensive line just dominated the Bengals all day long. This is a sensational play, though, by Dak Prescott. I mean, this would have been an impressive throw by Tony. Look at Dak Prescott here, and it's hard to criticize a guy that sticks it in this kind of window. He sees the linebacker, he sees the holes. There's a big hole in the defense. It's zone defense. Lets it rip to T. Will. Throws it only in a place where he can get it. Savvy quarterback play. Awesome stuff. Gonna see play action. Back foot. But it should be a touchdown right there to Butler. And should be a touchdown to Bryce, but there was a penalty on the play. And I believe we're going to take this thing to the second quarter. Let's see here. One thing about Dak is that you'll see him kind of hold the football, without only holding it with one hand. It's a minor adjustment. And this is just a really dumb penalty by the Bengals, by Ray, the linebacker, because they pretty much award a touchdown now to the Cowboys with that 5-yard penalty there, because Witten would have been short of the goal line. It would have been a 4th down. And then he's able to do this, which is another thing Tony can't do right now, is this type of play down in the red zone. So Dak's very efficient here. You're going to see him. And even when he hands to Ezekiel Elliott, he usually holds the linebackers. Because linebackers have to respect Dak and his legs. And here is one of the times, it's a rare time, but Dak keeps it and gets 6. So Dak is rolling. Bengals hold it for a decent amount of time. Punt it in the end zone. And here you're going to see Dak and Dunlap read it really, really well. So Dak just has to toss it in the dirt. He couldn't be slow there. That wasn't like playing on air. Nice jump ahead by this device. Let's see right here. Dak's going to hand, and the Butler running with some very nice speed. It's hard to imagine that the Butler's only been playing for about 4 or 5 years. Just seems like a seasoned vet because he's on another team now and kind of had some sluggish years in Washington, battling injuries, and now he's a backup. But he's running well. The O-line, it's just pure domination. There you see nice cutbacks, getting enough for first downs. Dak handing the ball off. The team's just rolling. No pressure to throw the football. Smart play there by Dak Prescott. You'll see him just not have anything. Throw it in the vicinity. No penalty. Stay alive with the chains and always ahead in the chains. No negative plays. There you see a mismatch. You have Butler on, I believe, like a defensive end. Easy pickings for Dak. And then this is maybe his best throw of the game in play. Giving it to Jason Witten here over the middle. I mean, watch the footwork, though, and the comfort level of Dak on this particular play. So, as noted, it's zone coverage. Witten's going to go down here. He has maybe Beasley if he wants, but that's going to be tough for a first down. All the receivers in the same area, that's why the eyes are staying the same. Look at the step ahead. He's not afraid to go back into the pocket. And the footwork there is what allows this throw to be a lot shorter. Is that Dak Prescott doesn't mind climbing back into the pocket. He really steps up. And that forward momentum gave him that chance. Not only does he have great patience and trust in the offensive line and the system, but his footwork also. That step right there is impressive. A lot of guys will always stay on their heels, but that's the mark of a confident player, and obviously that throw is elite. And there's a couple of times a game when he made elite 20-yard throws on lines, and he clearly was capable of making that at Mississippi State as well. Again, no panic with this guy. You see other quarterbacks, they have eternal clocks. Not so. They're only rushing 4. The offensive line's able to block it up. He knows that his pocket is not as he knows he's getting pushed back too far. Uses his legs. This ball placement is just absolutely perfect because he leads Cole right to where he needs to be. The dude is just out here and he's just so loose. It's just incredible that a rookie is playing with this much poise on the national stage. Complete trust in the system. The O-line really making a difference, obviously, for Dak and this team. And just awesome quarterback. I just can't say enough really about Dak. There's nothing you could say that's negative about his performance other than the way he holds the football. He just holds it with one hand. And also, I mean, Dak's not making the offense is so successful he doesn't need to do too much, but that's not Dak's fault. That's just fine. If the running game's doing fantastic, then Dak only needs to throw like 5-yard passes. So you just can't critique him. He's had, an A+ type of game. Claiborne made a play there late on AJ Green. Dalton didn't give it to AJ Green. Claiborne having a resurgence. The whole team right now, the defense is stepping up, playing with momentum. It was just like the Colts-Cowboys game 2 years ago when Dallas was clinching the NFC East. Here you see Elliott, game-changing speed. Good night, Cincinnati. Good night. Ezekiel to the races. Tony loving it on the sidelines. At this point, this Cowboys team couldn't be doing better. The Bengals don't look like a great team. The Bengals are going to be battling with Baltimore for a wild card. Steelers are the bell cow of that division out there in the AFC North. This next game versus Green Bay will tell all we need to know about Dak. And I think Dak is playing well, but I also think a lot of this has to do, obviously, with Ezekiel Elliott's production and the offensive line. And I think a lot of quarterbacks can be effective. So when Dak Prescott plays the Green Bay Packers next week, Green Bay is only letting up like 1.8 yards a carry. So Dak's going to be forced to hang in the pocket on the road in Lambeau, and he's going to be forced to make plays and not make disastrous plays, and there's going to be onus in the passing game. But, 18 of 24. The guy is incredibly efficient, and Jason Garrett's keeping it so damn simple. More quarterbacks should get this type of game plan. I'm tired of how rookies always get the best game plans, the most simple game plans. Because more quarterbacks, like even Dalton, could use a game plan that's this simple. And just because you're in your fourth year doesn't mean you have to make things complex. This is just awesome quarterbacking play. So comfortable under pressure. Doesn't fear the rush. He just has great pocket awareness. And Dak Prescott also is extremely accurate. Throws the football and leads receivers. When receivers have a linebacker over the top, he throws back shoulder. He's accurate as heck. His arm strength down the field, we haven't seen him throw 40-yard bombs. But if he's able to control the offense like this, he should do fine. And at Mississippi State, he didn't really have a downfield threat. So people viewed Christian Hackenberg, throwing in shorts as maybe having more of an NFL arm. But Dak just so much more than Hackenberg in terms of pocket awareness and footwork. And that's why Dallas made a good decision. Teams passed on Dak, got him in the fourth round because Dak Prescott, throwing in shorts, might not have thrown the ball as far as Hackenberg or with the velocity of Hackenberg. But when you look at him in the game, it looks like it's no contest. This guy looks for real. Look at this footwork. Look at this throw. You might say it's a 1-yard throw. This is again another point where he just leads Ezekiel Elliott perfectly. And the offense couldn't look better. The Dallas Cowboys offense, a joy to watch. Utter domination of Cincinnati. So comfortable. Looks like they're playing in PJs. It really does. It looks like the whole football team's just playing in the locker room, having a little catch. Watching a movie with popcorn, throwing the football to each other on the couch. That's how comfortable these guys look. And that should have been a catch by Jason Witten. So, one critique, the one turnover, or it would have been 35-0, is this one right here. So, the question that everybody's going to say is, well, Dak is awesome. Dak's playing tremendously well. One of the best quarterbacks in the league. Why rush Tony Romo, who's been injured, who's had inconsistent performances, back into the fold? Well, Romo's very productive. He's had a very productive career. And he can make the throws that Dak does. So if Ezekiel can run the football, I think Tony will be fine. I don't think it'll stunt the growth. Here you see Dak not holding it with two hands. And that could come into play next week. Elite pass rushers out there in Green Bay. He's got to hold the football with two hands. Next week will be very telling. Because if Dak goes out there and if they beat Green Bay on the road, that's really going to be a statement win. And then the team is really a Super Bowl contender. Right now, they're a playoff team. They're top four in the NFC. But if they go ahead and compete with Green Bay, play very well next week, have a shot to win at the end, get a lot of offense versus the Packers defense that's looking very resurgent, fantastic against the Giants, then you really have to consider. Right now, it's still looking like Romo could have operated the game plan today, and that's because the offense just dominated up front. But if Dak just goes out there against Green Bay and lights them up, there has to be a point when you look at this team and say, maybe this team can go 12-4. Maybe this team can compete for a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. Maybe it's time to just let the kid just continue to dazzle. But if he has like an average performance like he did against Seattle in the preseason, or just as okay, and the team loses, Tony will probably be back. And odds are 90% likelihood probably Tony's back because of contracts, because of morals that Jerry Jones and the organization wants to have with Garrett and Jerry. And Tony's been there a while. Dak's saying it's Tony's team. But it's quite the Dak Prescott is making it a decision, that's for sure. And the Cowboys' offensive line is rolling. Are the Bengals awful? They don't look good at all. But the Dallas Cowboys, them and the Eagles look like the real teams in this division. And it's going to be quite interesting to see Dallas continue to progress. More vids coming up this week. This one slow-mo did not indicate the type of afternoon that Dak Prescott had. Appreciate y'all hanging out and watching this show. Rover Sports here, and more film reviews hopefully coming up very soon. Thanks, guys, and take care.